Hello viewers, this is Aravindar Anne Arut channel welcomes you. How are you? In this video we have to see how education can be India's next $100 billion opportunity. For more information, we should go to the inside of the video. I request you to the viewers to kindly see the video in full. Now we shall go to the inside of the video. Hello viewers, as COVID-19 continues to upend our lives, there is welcome news on the education front. The Indian government's National Educational Policy 2020 envisages a new platform to re-architect the Indian education system. It aims to replace defunct rote learning, especially in the K-12 space, and welcome international collaboration by inviting foreign universities to set up campuses. This is promising for several reasons. First, India has the youngest population in the world. Second, although the country is home to the IITs and IIMs, these institutions have not scaled to meet the needs of a burgeoning aspirational young population. Historically, knowledge creation in the world's leading knowledge economies was made possible by continuous investment in administrative and pedagogical infrastructure. Education also substantiates a knowledge economy's claim to authority. Harvard in the US and Cambridge and Oxford in the UK are examples. Holding a degree from these institutions serves as a passport into networks of influence both within and outside academic circles. These institutions are also made possible by substantial private sector backing. The new educational policy 2020's success will depend on the government's willingness to compare how enabling infrastructures help universities thrive in the other countries. On this front, China has done well over the last decade and a half. It has attracted the New York University into Shanghai and the University of Chicago in Hong Kong. However, for these universities to succeed, freedom of speech, a universal value across Western universities, must be enshrined. In India, it will be equally important to allow educational investments to be made for profit. It is clear to me that top universities will not come because we have opened the door. They will come because we have created an enabling environment for them to succeed. Such an environment requires open, transparent, and stable policies. We will need a good understanding of what success means for both foreign and Indian universities. India needs to view this phenomenal opportunity strategically. One area that needs investments is science and technology. You cannot build a knowledge economy without a robust research and technology hub. Interestingly, leading global companies are investing in research and development hubs in India, betting on Indian talent. The new educational policy 2020 policy can help us connect the dots, fostering an international working environment founded on close collaboration with the global companies. This will enable the setting up of the right kind of university systems. It is important that the fixation with the rankings is replaced with a drive for excellence. Europe, for example, has several top-notch universities that do not feature in global rankings but account for cutting-edge research. We must view education and research from a national economy standpoint. What field can boost our economy? For example, quantum computing, and AI will be important drivers of economic growth. China has already invested in both. We must seek similar opportunities while keeping our domestic requirements in mind. To do this well, we must rope in the best talent in an advisory capacity, though leaders like Seduraman Panchanathan, who the US Senate recently confirmed as the director of National Science Foundation, can serve as a guiding light to create top-line faculty who help students think differently about education. It is important for the NEP 2020 to be designed for the knowledge economy of the 21st century. Simply inviting foreign universities to India will not be enough. We must create an enabling environment as well. This must foster creative, dynamic universities in different areas across the country. According to Project Atlas, 4.6 million international students spend $100 billion per year on higher education outside their home country in 2016. This number is projected to grow a whopping 8 million by 2025. If India attracts 10% of this demographic by 2030, it is a $10 billion opportunity. However, to achieve such an outcome, we need a change how we market ourselves. Once the framework is laid out, we must let practitioners take things forward. Ideally, the framework should be vetted by an advisory board with experts who have experience in the administrative and pedagogical aspects of teaching. Only then will we create a 21st century model for India. Hello viewers, I think you like this video. If you are liking means kindly press the like button and share to your friends and relatives. And also I request you to kindly subscribe this Aravindar Anne Arut channel. So thank you for your watching.